What is up? What is going on, everyone? David, SVA Card Collectors, and today we are interviewing Tyler from Hybrid Grade Approach, HGA. Can we have another company that can finally compete with PSA, SGC, BGS, all these acronyms, Jesus. I hope so. Really what I'm looking for is consistency and doing what they're going to say that they're going to do. Hopefully you guys enjoy this interview. You learn a lot. You love whatever. So enjoy the interview. How you doing, everyone? This is Tyler from HGA. How are you doing, my man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Very good. Now you're from Tennessee, correct?
I am.
I lived 3 years in Nashville. I don't know how far away that is from you. I can
About
hear
3
you.
hours. We're over here in Knoxville.
Oh, you're over there. Yeah, I remember I went past there one time and I just saw a sea of orange. And I was like, I think we're in Knoxville. So that's all I know about that. But y'all all sound the same over there. but
we did.
To be honest with you, when I lived in Nashville, most of the people weren't from Nashville. They were from all different parts of the state. So it wasn't too bad. I really enjoyed it there. I really liked Tennessee.
Yeah,
also,
got some good people. We get people from the north, south, everywhere.
Yep. So, but that's not the reason why we have you here. I got all excited and pumped when I saw the slogan where 10 days means 10 days. And that sort of got me excited. It moved a little down there. So I'm not gonna lie. So I just give me a little bit of an origin story, how you got started. Have you been a collector for a long time? And just a little bit of that.
Okay. Quick backstory. I mean, I collected when I was a kid, Jordan rookies, I wish I still had them now, but, we traded them back then. We played with them, traded. Sure, if I had one, it'd be about a PSA 1 or 2 anyways.
Probably.
But no, I collected as a kid, on and off as an adult. I'd grab some boxes here and there, jump in some breaks with some buddies. Mm-hmm. But then COVID hit and I got real heavy back into it. Right before COVID, I guess, last January, I got real heavy back into it. And I dropped about 7 figures last year on cards. Now during all this, we started subbing cards out. I was opening $10,000-$20,000 personal boxes a week. And so I started subbing my cards out. One of my assistants would, get them ready, prep them, send them to PSA, BGS. Mm-hmm. And as February came around, March, April, as the month started going through, by April, I noticed that the prices started jumping, the timeline started getting, missed, and then they started just pushing them out and out and out. And then we got our first set of subs back, and one of my buddies who's been collecting for a long time, he came back and we looked at some of the nines I got like 15 PSA 9s back, and we resubmitted 36 of them because he thought they had a chance to get a 10 again. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. So we resubmitted 36 9s and got, I think, 20 10s out of it. And so I was like, well, that's weird. I was like, why would they do that? And he goes, oh, it's just, depends on who grades them. I'm like, that's not true, is it? And, the more you look into it and the more you look at it, it's truly at the grader's discretion what you get. And so I was like, man, there has to be a better system. And I'm a member of a lot of different groups. And as I read forums and stuff, a lot of people are like, there needs to be a technological advance in the card grading industry. Mm-hmm. There needs to be set standards. And so we set out to do that starting last April, May area. And I brought on 8 people in my development, and we've been going at it ever since. So we've developed awesome. AI, now we're developing the website, the back-end platform, continue to develop memberships, and we're just going to keep pushing out new features.
Now, you started off, did you have like a card company, or were you just a local seller, or because you said like your assistant, or was it just part of your company? You said, hey, try to get these subs out for me.
I have lots of other companies. She was actually the girl who ended up being my assistant to help me with my cards, because it ended up being, to a pretty bad phase. Like I said, I was breaking 20,000 a week personal, but she was one of my personal nannies for my kids. And she was like, I can help you with them. And then, the more she would help me, the more I would just open, the more she'd send off. And so it just became a spiral. And then I was like, all right, let me try breaking. So then we did a little bit of breaking here and there, just because my wife was like, you're really buying this much a week in cards. I'm like, yeah, I'm breaking them. So I finally went through and broke for a while. I enjoyed it, but it's hard for me to sit on boxes. I love seeing what's in the boxes. So my assistant actually helped, during shipping when we did all that too. She did all my shipping for me.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'm horrific. If I have a box that's unopened and it's staring at me, that thing's going to be gone in a week, maybe a week, maybe a day or two it'll last, and then it's done. But all right, so that makes sense. You sound like every other person who's graded, not even just PSA with BGS, SGC, that, you know, you'll see some PSA 10s and you go, well, why is that a 10? And you see some PSA 9s and be like, wow, that's awesome. It should be a 10. And, you know, sometimes there's no rhyme or reason. But so you decided to do something. Now, take us through the process. So I have a card. I want to send it to you. What do we have to do?
To send the card to us, right now, the way it works, you're going to go to hybridgrading.com. We open our submissions on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We have a set limit, so that way we never get our 10 days means 10 days is because we limit our submissions. We're not going to, you know, open up the floodgates like SGC did. Nothing against them. I don't know if they knew how much they were going to get, but so we limited. Last week was to 1,000 cards. This week we're bumping it to 1,200. Our goal next week is to be at 1,500 as long as, you know, everything pans out right. And we're just going to continue to every Friday to up our limit. We want to grow with our customers. And so Friday at 9 p.m., they just go in, hit create an account if you don't already have an account, then create a submission. You can go through and just fill in your cards and then just follow the process. It's 5 simple steps and you check out.
That makes sense. I know I was a big proponent of SGC when PSA was really in the initial you know, they had the issues with the trimming stuff and, you know, we were waiting a long time, and then SGC was coming along and they were churning out cards left and right. And I'm like, just keep going. And they got swamped. And I guess it's understandable a little bit, but I don't know the mechanics of everything. So I don't want to just, you know, talk crap about them and say, they're terrible, because I do like SGC. I think they look really nice. So what makes you different? How are you grading these cards that is going to be different than PSA, SGC, and the rest of them?
It's going to be more consistent. The biggest question I've been getting, you know, and seeing all over is, well, if a computer's grading, it's going to be way more strict. Well, we set the algorithms. So what we did is we scanned in thousands of PSA 10s, thousands of BGS 10s, 9.5. I mean, we scanned in thousands of the cards, and we got the parameters off each card, you know, because we had it set up to train what the centering is to our algorithms, the edging, the surface. So we would scan them, and then whatever their variations were, their average variation, we would take that, and then we would tighten it up just a hair. And then we did it with BGS, tighten it up just a hair, and then we would find the average between PSA and BGS. So we're not going to be stricter with our grading. We're just going to be way more consistent. So you won't see a card come in with 65, 35 centering and get a, you know, black or flawless 10. So we're just going to be way more consistent. You're not going to have to worry about recracking and slabbing because you're like, oh, this one's bad. Oh, this one's not correct. So you won't have to deal with that anymore.
Okay, so you scan it, you got scanners, and you scan the stuff in. Then does someone afterwards take a look and see, hey, this is good, or do you go, I trust you, you know?
No.
You know, I forgot the computer from that movie, but
I
dropped the ball.
As good as technology is, you always check it. I mean, just like off machine production lines, if you ever worked in a factory, you still have quality assurance checking all these parts, and they have $100 million machines in there, you know, building cars and stuff, but you still have quality assurance just to make sure that everything coming out is 100% right. So we have obviously tons of IT on staff. We're up to almost 16 people on our IT staff right now. And, you know, every day they go through and just, you know, check all the scans, make sure that everything's working properly. They send us reports, you know, we're able to double check and make sure that it's reading everything properly. After it gets scanned and graded by our AI, it goes through 2 quality assurance steps just to double check that, you know, we can see the scans, make sure what is picked up is actual stuff that needed to be picked up and there was not anything out of line. If we see anything out of line, which we haven't yet, because, you know, we spent 8 months now trying to perfect this, then we send it back to our developers and say, hey, we need to check on this. It's picking this up. Or, you know, we have, you know, at the beginning, that's what we had to do a lot. You know, it was picking up smaller things than it should have. So then we had to adjust it, you know, adjust the frequencies to what the change would go pick up.
Got you. Like my biggest thing would be the surface issues. How would it be able to pick those things up? And I'm guessing maybe if it gives like a 9 because it's a surface issue and you just go, and then it's a 10, you know, someone's going to check up on it. That was my main concern.
We have a cleaner. They wipe it down 100%. It can tell it picks up the difference of dust versus scratches, and the way it does it. And this is something I've wasn't going to start sharing with people until we get our full video developed, sharing how the actual whole process works. The reason we want to do that is we want everybody to be able to see it kind of at the same time. But the way it works on the surface is we turn the actual picture into frequencies. So that way a computer recognizes frequencies and changes through frequencies. Much easier than it can recognize a picture and be like, oh, here's a scratch, here's a scratch. You have to give it a base level. So when you turn it to a frequency, it's able to measure the depthness of the contrasts. So it's able to pick up any inconsistencies and, any major dips or blips in the radar as it goes across it.
Sounds good. So you got all that stuff. Now, with regards to pricing, you guys have different service levels. I think there's a 10-day, and what's the other one? 30 and 60 or 20 and 60?
30 and 60. A 10, 30 and 60.
And the pricing for a 10-day, I believe what was it, 55?
It starts at 55, and then if you submit 20 to 49, it goes to 50. If you submit 50 or more, then it drops to 45 a card.
With 30, I'm sorry, go on. No, go on.
Oh, with the 30, it's $35, and our next level goes to 31, and the next level goes to 27, then our 60 days $20. And we're opening up a membership option, which will be coming very soon, and we'll have special bulk discounts for our members.
I was gonna say, I mean, that's the only thing that I see as a barrier, because right now a lot of people tend to grade not just to keep for their collection, but they're looking to flip and make some bank.
Right.
That's basically what they're doing. So
Absolutely.
The price, it seems to me a little bit higher, seems a little high, and I can see that shining away. And I go, well, I'll just go to PSA because I know I can get the value. What do you say to that?
The value, I mean, we're starting to see more of our cards on eBay now. And I mean, because we are limited, we have such a big following now. We have already over 5 times as many cards saved in our submission for the week than we're going to be able to take tomorrow evening. We'll fill up in minutes tomorrow. So what's happening, we're getting a supply versus demand right now in the beginning, which is going to push our prices. I mean, right now, they're way higher than they honestly, I could imagine they would have been. We have a, 9.5 Louise Robert Top Series 2 that's over $180 on bids. The PSA 10s are selling at $140. So our 9.5 is, higher than a PSA 10 right now. That's probably not going to hold up. We'll see. I mean, maybe it will. I mean, that's our goal. Our goal was, to provide more consistency. I think that 100% our value will be stay right there with PSA and BGS. Absolutely.
Awesome. So that's a good answer. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Now, there was what really drew me to your cards was obviously the label and the colors matching to the team colors. Now, I don't know if that's customizable, or do you pick that out? How does that work?
On the submission form, we have 3 options. We're getting ready to add the 4th option, and I'm going to share that tomorrow morning for everybody. So when you go under and you type in your card, you can go to label color, and there's either team color match or team match, which matches the team jersey colors. You can do card match. So if you send in a mosaic red of Jordan Love and you want it to match the red mosaic, you type card match, and then we would use a red label. Then we're going to have a neutral white and a neutral black. So if you just want some more something basic where you can collect for hundreds of different players across different teams and keep them all consistent labels. Then we have one option we already loaded, and now we're going to add the second option of the neutral black label. So we have a neutral white already, and then we're going to do a neutral black.
Got you.
So it's just a quick drop down. You select it. Yeah, so it's customizable. You get to customize your own cards.
Now, security features, where something that this can't be, changed or, replicated, cloned. Do you have something like that? Is there something that was thought about?
Obviously, they're all of our cases and everything are under lock and key. Because somebody replicated, they could. At the moment, we are looking to add some security features with inside of our cases. They're when they go together and they're pushed together by an arbor press to interlock. So you can't get them back because of the teeth inside of them. They won't come back. And then we also liquid weld them. So we've actually done demonstrations, and we're going to try to put some of these up of how easy it is to crack other companies' cases versus ours. It's ridiculous to try to crack through ours. We tried.
All right, that's good.
Yeah,
because I've cracked the BGS and PSA before. More BGS to switch over to PSA.
Right.
So I've done it before, so that's a good feature. Do you sleeve the card before you put it in, or no?
We don't. They're all custom sized. So
Okay.
I mean, there will be some cards, such as acetates, because they're just a hair thinner and smaller, so they have just a little playroom. So we do sleeve some acetates and some different cards if they have any movement. So to keep them from moving, we will sleeve those.
That's one of the biggest things that I had problems with PSA. I had just a bigger card, so they would have an oversized case and it would just jiggle around a lot. So I was always nervous about moving this card around because or just, if I just stood it up, it would just slide down a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was always worried about that. That's one of the things I liked about BGS, that they had that sleeve. So basically it really doesn't move too much.
Yeah.
And the security features, why I asked is because of the issues that Beckett was having.
Right.
So that's a good thing that at least you're thinking about it. You have the case that's going to be uncrackable, and hopefully there's further features where, probably if that case is what you say it is, it's going to be a lot harder to replicate.
Yeah, it is, and they're all made here in America. So once you see one in hand, we use a polypropylene on them. So I mean, it would be very expensive. I mean, the molds alone, just to create the mold for the injection, it costs us about $15,000 per each size. So, and that's before you ever start pouring them. So, I mean, you could definitely do it, but I mean, you're going to have a lot of money spent into replicating.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I mean, someone's not going to, there's going to be a lot of effort to do that, and so I don't think you have to worry about that, especially at the beginning. I like everything that I'm hearing so far. It sounds like a pretty good strategy, especially even though people are going to want it. I think you might be building, anticipation every Friday where people are going to want it, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I can't." But I think that it's better to get your cards within the 10 days or 30 or 60 days that you state, and instead of saying, "Hey, your 20 day is actually going to be 4 months." That's the one thing that enrages me. You don't have a 20 day then; you have a 40 day.
You have a 4 month,
or
exactly.
So whatever the hell it is. So, do you see yourself as a company for the future, like staying on, or do you see you as a player as, hey, maybe someone like PSA and BGS might, engulf you in? What is your long-term vision?
We want to be the biggest. I mean, there's absolutely no chance I'll ever sell out.
That's good.
Yeah, okay. They won't run it. They lost my trust with their customer service and the way they've handled it. Them and BGS both. I was subbing a lot to BGS, but just like you said, you offer a 5 day and now it's 2 months. You offer a 10 day and it's 5+ months. That's great on your website. How can you call it a 10 day when it's 5+ months? To me, it's false advertising. It's bad marketing, and it's just deceitful customer service. I mean, it just reeks bad to me, and I don't like that. And they would, if I sold out, they would not run it the way I would run it. And I'm pretty anal when it comes to that stuff. Like, get the product in, get it out, get it done right, and get it back to the customers. The customers want their cards. There's no reason we need to sit on it. If we have to limit it, that's what we'll do. So we set a very strategic plan coming into this, so we didn't get overwhelmed. We learned a lot by looking at the SGC, when they opened up and, they got swamped with hundreds of thousands of cards. And, I was one of the people that sent in almost 1,000 cards to them. And they literally, I was supposed to be 20 days, and I got them back 146 days to the day. So, I refuse to go that route. I mean, our biggest issue people are going to have with us is, hey, we weren't able to get in Friday. Like that's going to be the biggest issue. So that's something that our biggest thing is expanding quickly. And that's what we've been doing. I'm out there beating the roads, finding people who have worked at PSA, BGS, sports lovers, own card stores, or whatever, anybody in the sports background. There's not a whole lot of training needed with our company. You just need to love cards. You need to be able to come in, learn our way of handling cards and, dealing with our customers. And that's it. So we're going to continue to expand as quick as possible.
Yeah. I mean, I think if the customer service alone is good, you're going to be way ahead of the game, because there's a lot of people that are having those issues as well. I give my cards to somebody to send to PSA, so I haven't had to deal with that, but I've heard the complaints and I've heard the issues. And look, PSA is the standard right now. I don't want this to be, crapping all over them and everything like that, because look, we all send, that's the guy, those are the guys that we send to because of the value. But I think it's a great thing that there's other card companies that are coming out I forget the other one, the CGC, I think, is the other company that does comic books. They're coming out. And I think there's going to be a lot of innovations that's going to push these guys to go, we got to get our act together, or else we're going to lose out in 10, 15, maybe sooner, 5, 10 years, where maybe it's, your company that's coming in and getting the top value because you do what you say. And that's really what people want. At the end of the day, we just go, all right, well, I want my 10-day in 10 days, and I just want the card graded correctly. Now, there's other people that go, I just want a 10 and I want to be able to make bank. But for the most part, I think collectors just want consistency so they know what to look for, when they're sending it in. If you're calling it the same all the time, they're going to know after a while. It's going to make your job easier as well, because they're going to start sending stuff in and be like, well, I know this is a 9. Maybe I won't send it because I want to get that 9.5 or 10. Or maybe they do want the 9. But I really, really like it. I think it's a good strategy. So where do you see this company going in 5 years? What's your long-term goals?
I mean, within 5 years, we definitely want to be one of the biggest 3, if not the biggest. I mean, I see the support behind us. I see the growth potential. As long as we're a competitor and, add a solid third option, that's what we came set out to do. We wanted, it's overloaded. The 2 companies, they're great companies. Don't get me wrong. They're the benchmarks for what we're trying to become. I just feel like some things could be done better. And that's why I started it. I want to be, I don't go into anything thinking I'm going to be second or third. My goal is to be first.
Sounds great. Yeah, I don't think anyone really wants to. Well, let's just get third.
I'd like to be runner-up Super Bowl champs.
Yeah, and this. So who do you have? Who do you think's going to win? Kansas City?
Yeah.
Or do you think it's going to be the Buccaneers?
I'd like to see Brady win, but I think the Chiefs are just too explosive.
As a New York Jet fan, I do not want to see him win.
Right.
I do feel some empathy for him. I do like the fact that he's sticking it to the Patriots, because I do hate the Patriots more than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
But I like Mahomes. The Chiefs have sucked, or have come so close so many years. They won 1 Super Bowl. All right, let them get another one. It's been so long for them. So I'm fine with that. As a Jet fan, hopefully we get Deshaun Watson and we'll be happy, but I know we'll screw that up. And
he seems to want to go there.
I pray to the NFL gods every night that he comes, but I don't know if that's going to be anything. So last thing, I just wanted, what do you see the sports card industry in the next 5 to 10 years? Do you see it it's going to keep on going? Do you see it right now? Do you think we're at the top? Do you think it's going to?
I think we're going to see waves. I think it's just going to fluctuate over time. There's going to be some correction, hopefully, to the box prices, just because the single prices are not keeping up with the box prices right now. And so there has to be some correction. Either the singles are going to go up or the box prices are going to come down. But I don't see singles going down a whole lot. There's just there's too much new money now in the hobby, with the old money still here. So I don't see. There's a lot more big dogs coming out, and you collecting them as art now. They're just buying out because they're limited, one of a kind, or they're hard to find. You have some big players coming out and just picking up all these retro Jordans, and now they're going after KDs and just anything that's going to shoot up in value. Investors.
I forgot, and I should have asked this before. Now, is there the thickness? Does it matter how thick the cards are if we're sending them in?
We grade up to 360 points right now. We're working on booklets and jumbo card holders and stuff, and we should be able to have those ready by summertime. And
not sports cards, just different types of cards, comic book cards, stuff like that.
Magic, the Gathering, all the Pokemon, all that stuff. We should be ready for in about 2 to 3 months.
Okay, so right now you're just dealing with baseball, football, basketball, hockey, throwing a soccer?
Yep, soccer too. Yep.
Okay. So, and then everything else in the next coming months, you're going to start slowly incorporating that in.
As they continue to scan them and just get the baseline set for them, all the cards, then we'll, start opening it up more. We'll open up Pokemon, Magic, Star Wars, X-Men, all your collectible cards.
So what do you do, for example, like Top Series 1 is coming out 2021, and do you scan the cards? How do you create that baseline if you have nothing to compare it to? We get in
our own cases. The day of release, and then they go to work scanning them the same day.
Okay, so you're getting cards coming in, and you're able to rip them up and Got you.
Yeah. We start scanning from as soon as the product is released. It's right at my place, and we scan them and create our own baseline from looking at what the average centering is on their cars and everything to set the algorithms.
So you're not going as a broad spectrum of all cars. You're going per set. Hey, this is what a PSA 10 is going to be for 2021 Top Series 1.
Yes and no. It's across the spectrum unless we see a big variation. We just make sure it falls in line with baseball. But if for some reason we're scanning, we scan 1,000 Top Series 1, and we notice, like, wait a second, the average centering on this is 62.38. Like, we notice it's way off. Then we're going to reach out and talk to Panini and be like, hey, is this something we're going to see across all cases? And then we might, make an adjustment then at that point. But we just make sure that they're going to fall in line with their centering, the surface, all the average scores are going to fall inside our set parameters right now.
Got you.
So,
all right.
If there needs to be a change to it, then we'll make a change to the individual sets. If for some reason they have, like, almost every card is just a hair off center or something for whatever reason, then, we would obviously change the algorithm to make sure that, a 10 is attainable.
That sounds fair. That sounds really good. Where can they get you guys one more time?
www.hybridgrading.com.
Sounds good. You have an Instagram, Twitter, or?
We have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm most active on Facebook. I have social media employees that are coming in now, and they're going to be running all the social media so they can keep up a lot better than I've been able to do by myself.
God, I would love to be the guy that when the cards come in, I just get to open them. Oh, that would be such a good job. I know that's your job. You're like, no, I got that. No, don't.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I get so jealous. Like, I walk by, I'm just peeking at all the cars. I'm like, man, this is the coolest thing ever.
Just give me a pat. Come on.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you very much, Tyler.
Absolutely.
This is awesome. Thank you very much. And hope you have a great day, man.
Thanks, man.
I hope you guys got a lot out of that interview. I know I did. I'm happy with the approach. I think they saw the mistakes from SGC. And they are not going to let the floodgates open and get their doors blown out by getting all these, cards coming in, and they're just not able to do what they say they're going to do. Integrity in the sports card world. Who knew that actually existed? So hopefully they can keep their promises, and I'll be rooting for them because I think their labels are pretty cool, and it's nice to give, these guys that are on top a little push. Maybe they get knocked off their peg, and they can take some of these changes that he's trying to make and maybe incorporate it in their businesses. So I hope it works out. Competition is only going to make it better and hopefully cheaper for us, but that will remain to be seen. Hopefully you guys like this. If you did, give me a like, share, a subscribe, reach around, whatever you want to do for me. Guys, again, thank you for listening and watching, and I hope you have a great rest of the day. Later.